All right, I'm going to try and cover a few topics here while I have a LimeSDR Mini. You can see an image of it here on the Lime Microsystem site. Take a look at that. You can see the differences between the LimeSDR and the LimeSDR Mini. I want to, it's probably more an informal video, going to cover quite a few topics again. One thing I'll show right off the bat that does work is this the Osmo-BTS, again with using BSC and MSC for a GSM network. I'll put this link in the description. If the video runs really long, I'll probably break it down in the description, so if you don't want to see a particular subject, you can fast forward. So, all right, let's see. For the GSM network, though, we're going to need a few windows open. I've been messing with it here, so I've already started these services here. This is a new image I'm working on too, by the way. So I just installed it. I got real VNC just so I could record this. So if you boot it up, you should be able to run this here. That'll start the services that you need. You would then, let's see, telnet localhost 4258 should be the HLR. Go ahead and enable that. You can look at the list of commands. I kind of covered this before. The one that I've already done was subscriber, spell it right, MZ. I've got the MZ off of this S4 here with just an app I tossed on there. I'll just make up something. You'd put that in. You'd hit boom. You'd hit create. You could follow that up with a subscriber MZ, the actual MZ you just put in, update MSI SDN, and then, for example, an MSI SDN. Boom, hit enter. And what I've done is, not this particular time, but I've actually entered two different phones, an S4 and an S3. I did that both times, both the MZs, just with SIM cards that I had laying around. Put MSI SDRs on my mind, SDN in, and then so far I've been able to text phone to phone. I haven't got around to calls yet. I think there's some additional settings that need to be set in the config file. But right after installing, you should be able to follow this with two phones and text from one to the other. Okay, so we'll exit out of the HLR. We'll change to our Osmocom directory. You can see we've got default configuration files there, and something new that will be in the next DragonOS Focal will now have the necessary things for the LimeSDR. So we'll start the, let's see, this is for the LimeSDR, the capital -C or dash capital C. Call the config file. That brings up the radio. On another window, we will start our BSC after it just makes it easier. I know you could specify, but let's go BSC, do a dash lower C. We'll do the, nope, BSC config file. Starts at the BSC. Now, if you had closed this out, I think it was just something I did, but say you got a warning about it already running, you could take a look at your services that are running. You could find it and kill it so that you could start it from the command line. All right, our BSC is running. get this where you can see kind of what's going on. Okay, and then in the last window, we'll go ahead and bring our BTS up. So, see. All right. At this point, we are on the air. I got my S4 here, and you'll see when I connect here, I put it, it's already connected to something else, but if I put it in airplane mode, and I had previously told it to connect to this network, take it off of airplane mode, you'll see I'm now connected. And if I do let's see, star pound 100 pound, I get my US sorry, let me try it one more time. Yeah, US SD code's running, and then it gives me my extension, which technically I don't have in there because I didn't add a MSI SDN. I thought I actually did, but so the MZ is in there, and I am connected. Don't forget, add your MSI SDN, and then you can communicate with another phone. So I think that's huge because that's a relatively inexpensive radio, and I'll test it further, but it seems to be fine. All right. So that's that. All right, let's take a look at a couple other things that work, some settings that you might have to mess with. GQRX. I had already previously opened it up. I put SOPI equals 0 because that was the only device, again, listed, because what I have done, if I didn't already mention this, I'm going to take out the SOPI module for audio, and I have the SOPI remote server disabled by default. You can turn that back on, but then that cleans this up here, and you know which device you're dealing with, especially when you only have one plugged in. So you can see found device 0, there's the driver. I put it in like this, SOPI equals 0, driver equals Lime. Make sure you specify a bandwidth. I found a couple pages that reference there's different supported bandwidths. I found that setting this here, I just threw that in there, then allows the LimeSDR to work with GQRX. You'll notice when you first open it up, you'll probably see nothing because over here the antenna was set on none. You can read about what these differences are. As far as I understand, it's different bands. I was looking that up, which is kind of interesting. And then I had to mess with the gain settings up here. Looks slow because it's streaming over to record this, but it's really smooth, works really well on the actual computer. So there's GQRX. Let's see what else we got. SDRAngel. Had no issues here either. File input, find LimeSDR. You can throw an FM demodulator over here, start it up, same thing, you'll notice that, let's see, where's it at here? You got your RF in. I just threw it to auto. You've got your gain settings. Now I have cellular antennas on here. I'm not going to keep changing them, but you can see I've listened to some audio. Seems to work fine. Just might have to change some settings, sample rate, bandwidth. Yeah, the bandwidth's real small. Okay, so looks good in SDRAngel. Take a look at either of the two cubic SDRs. Again, here I noticed, make sure you set your antenna and your sample rates that you want, and then you should be okay, although not quite sure why it comes up blank here. I click down here. And it works, at least in my quick test here. What else we got? SigDigger. Now I haven't added the TV tuner yet to SigDigger. I was waiting until everything is maybe pushed into the stable branch there. Same thing, auto, you got your sample rates. Let's see. Actually, let me take a look at that again. Sample rates. Okay, yeah, we can go higher. All right. And there you go. Same thing, you might have to mess with these settings here. All right, that's good. What else we got? Okay, now to show some things that I haven't quite figured out yet, which I was hoping would work, and I'm sure it's just a matter of settings. I've been reading several forum posts and recommendations, so I'm sure there's some way to get this. Let's see. srsLTE for our LTE network. Let's start our EPC up. And then let's try the EMB. Now I've tried it two different ways, using UHD and then using SOPI. So if you do a -H, you'll see device names right here. You got Blade RF, I think UHD, and then SOPI. So if you do this at the terminal here, you see SOPI finds that one device because of those changes I mentioned. I've been reading about this particular comment that comes up, and then it kind of just, not really sure what's going on here. I actually haven't tested from another computer to see if I can actually connect to it. I'll do a separate video on there. So it very well may be working. Maybe that's just the data that's going across is, but I don't know. Still figuring that out. If we do, so there's, oh, the other thing too is Crocodile Hunter is on here, and I confirmed it does work with my B205. I've seen it work with my Blade RF. I was really hoping the LimeSDR was working. But let's take a look. I'll kind of show. It's in user source. We'll take a look at config file. I've left default settings here, so you're going to need wiggle name, wiggle key. There is a database on here now, just for just so that everyone knows the password of the MySQL. I just left it what it calls for here, root and Tor. You're welcome to change that. You can do that with you could rerun probably the secure installation, put the current password, change it, set it all back up, change your Crocodile Hunter file to reflect that. So let's take a look. So I need to since I'm not going to run it with wiggle, I'll just make something up here. Or not make something up, but I'll just throw something in there. We'll disable GPS, disable wiggle, do debug. So right now, it's going to use the UHD. Oh, I see. Put that down here. So you'll see it uses UHD. And what I found is it just, even if I do have wiggle and stuff, I've not actually seen it populate cells or enodbs. But that could be because those device arguments that need to be passed, they're not being set up because the Crocodile PY or the Crocodile file doesn't account for the different bands, I guess you'd say, that the LimeSDR can do. So let's see. If you look up here, I don't see it mentioned. So say we just do say we take a look at the examples. You can see that you can pass arguments. Let's say we do LimeSDR mini. One of the ones I was looking at here, it mentions that's in the these device arguments that you can pass. So say we do pass that for the band 2 or band 1, and gain, I don't know, let's again, it's using UHD. Okay, so you see it can run. Now the other thing we could do is you could delete the build directory. Edit the CMake list, come down, we can force just the use of straight SOPI by doing this change here, save. We'll make the build directory again. You probably could have just ran make clean or something, but let's see, we'll do now to build. It will only find SOPI. We'll build this, and so completely open to advice here. I'd love to get this working for everyone else. If you see something that I could try, or an example device args that you pass to LimeSDR, especially with this older srsLTE that's part of the Crocodile Hunter, because I'll point that out too. So technically in DragonOS Focal I have srsLTE, the 20.04.1 I think it is, actually installed, and then I'm having to have another version of srsLTE sitting, not installed system-wide per se, but sitting in the folder so that the DragonOS script calls upon and uses that for right now. So there's two different versions kind of that we're messing with here. Either way, I'm hoping at least it's just a matter of the device arguments that need to be passed along. Also, I guess one other thing while that's running is I'm putting in the LimeSDR, let's see, for GNU Radio 3.8, and so you can see, you can find the sync and source there. I've just tried a simple graph setting this up with a QT frequency sync. So I haven't tried a lot of programs with that, but that should be fine with the LimeSDR source. All right, that's finished. So now let's go back. We'll run, and you'll see where now we've forced it to do with just SOPI. So SOPI has found a device. Let's see. You can see where it passed the device arguments across, where it's got RX antenna, TX antenna set. So again, it looks like it's going to work. I've not actually seen it actually pull anything into the Crocodile Hunter. Now I did apply a patch that someone had submitted in the forums where it stops. I don't know if that's what's actually happening here, and something appears to be maybe frozen, although it does say found cell ID. So I don't know. I don't want to take up too much time with this. I'll kind of figure this out. I just wanted to show, in case anyone else has any ideas on how to make this better, especially getting this working with the LimeSDR would be really good. Okay, if you want to see anything else with the LimeSDR, let me know while I have this radio available. All right, thanks.